Former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie joined ABC News' Powerhouse Roundtable this week, where he dispelled rumors Vice President Kamala Harris is not a shoo-in for Democrats' 2024 presidential ticket. Former DNC chairwoman Donna Brazile disagreed. Let's watch.
There are a number of other very qualified African-American women who the president could pick. And all I'm saying is there's going to be that conversation. It's unlikely to happen, George, but because he's going to be 82 years old, that is going to be a much bigger focus than it's ever been.
First of all, I'm so glad you brought up Kamala Harris, because she is probably one of the most undefined human beings. She is incredible. She's standing in her own power. She has been, at every step, helpful to this president and getting his agenda through the United States Congress. And so while her poll numbers may not reflect her true popularity, I can guarantee you Kamala Harris will not be replaced on the party's ticket. And I can also guarantee you, if Joe Biden decides not to run, Kamala Harris will become the next nominee of the Democratic Party. And I don't understand why every time, something goes down, people are saying, Kamala, she is standing in her power. She's been incredible. She's been indispensable. And she's going to continue to serve as Vice President.
And she's been invisible.
So I agree with Donna Brazile that Kamala Harris will not be replaced, and that once Joe Biden exits the scene, she is extremely likely to be the next Democratic standard bearer. I don't agree that that's necessarily to the Democratic Party's benefit. Unlike Donna Brazile, I'm not sure that she's such an asset to Joe Biden. Yes, she literally helps shepherd his agenda through Congress in that she is the one who cast that tie-breaking vote during the period of time where it was evenly split. I don't know that she did it with a kind of finesse that is unique to her special political talents and abilities. What say you, Briahna?
Yeah, I mean, with all due respect to Donna Brazile, whose commentary I've appreciated in other contexts a great deal, this feels like what the kids call copium, which is that, like, it's the kind of indignation and defensiveness that came across in her tone. It feels like a bunch of excuse making after the fact to try to push back against the fact that, yes, there has been a lot of media criticism of Kamala Harris, maybe an undue amount of media criticism of Kamala Harris. But the best defense you can mount of her is that she has this undefined quality. Well, that's I think kind of a liability 2 years into this. In many years, we got into the Senate in 2017, which is a lot of time to define who she actually is. But apart from some negative qualities, like being so tough on crime and then flipping and trying to paint herself as a progressive prosecutor, or faring so badly in the Democratic primary that she had to drop out before her own home state, where she stood to get bested by Andrew Yang, who was an unknown political figure before that time. Apart from those kind of negative those negative moments from her past, she doesn't have much to recommend her. So I agree with you that it's unlikely that they would switch her out because it's not really necessary. But I don't know. I do agree with something that Chris Christie said, which is that if the Democratic Party changed its mind, if they wanted to switch her out, I don't think that they have any problem in doing so. I think that she's where she is because they don't need the drama. They don't need to get rid of her. But if things changed, if Joe Biden's health were at issue, if they really did believe that the vice president were going to become president of the United States and America, and they didn't think that Kamala Harris could beat Donald Trump or whomever, I don't think there would be anything but the kind of defensive copium that we saw from Donna Brazile in response, because none of the people who are part of Kamala Harris's small D.C. constituency have any power to do anything about it if she were to be replaced.
That's interesting. I don't know that I agree with that, but you could be right. I think if somebody, I think the whining from both media elites and also other Democratic Party operatives that a black woman is being denied her chance would be the chorus would be so loud.
Louder than the 20 million people in the street during the George Floyd protest who were all ignored so that Joe Biden could say, let's fund the police harder and coast to victory.
I mean, these are the people in actual institutional power.
Who? The panel
The
of
Democratic Party.
the panel of black civil rights leaders and other black leadership figures who Joe Biden dressed down in that now famous leaked call from the fall of 2020 and
Look,
never said a word
I think
about
the New York
it.
Times and the Washington Post would scream at them, which I don't think matters to voters. I think it matters to Democratic Party elites.
I just don't think so. I think they
wrong.
don't.
I
They
could be
don't
wrong.
care. They don't care.
I don't think I'm not saying Democratic voters care. Don't mistake me.
No,
I'm saying
I
the
don't think
people
Joe Biden cares.
who make these decisions behind closed doors, they care.
Joe Biden told Sherrilyn Ifill and the head of the NAACP and Al Sharpton to their face when they very calmly and patiently asked, hey, here are some things that you could do to help black people when you're president. And Joe Biden turned to them and said, you know what? I don't even know why you're asking me these questions. Latinos are the biggest group now. You better get in line with them because they're the ones that I really have to care about. Like that is what happened.
Quote.
It's not a direct quote, but that is like the very clear tone and not that far off from what he said to these black leaders in the call.
Clearly,
So like,
I mean, black voters supported him.
exactly. So black voters uncritically supporting the Democratic Party is why they don't have to, the Democratic Party will never listen to what black voters care about. And these black leadership figures falling in line, no matter how disrespected they are by people like Joe Biden, is why that doesn't matter either.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be, and also I don't think black voters are going to, take to the streets to defend Kamala Harris's place.
No, because nobody
in the,
likes her.
Right.
Her constituency is small. It's very DC focused.
I think the media
and
will
they're
go to bat for her, and that will be something Democratic Party elites want to
But
avoid.
also, to Christie's point, there are a number of other qualified black women that you could pluck out of the ether and just replace her. And then you don't have the argument that, it's a racism that Joe Biden is doing, and we'll keep on keeping on.
That would in itself be kind of weird to do, I feel like. Like who? Like who do you have? I mean,
Stacey Abrams.
I mean, she has the exact same liability. In fact,
No, I don't think
in some
so.
ways she has.
Stacey Abrams is much more poised and able behind the camera. I would argue, just like a better
I think
public
replacing
speaker,
the vice president,
better thinker, smarter.
replacing the vice president with someone who has lost her election twice in a row would not make
But that's
any
not why she's
political
there.
sense.
To your point, she's there to cast the deciding vote in the Senate and to stand behind Joe Biden and make the ticket look diverse. And
Well,
she
I mean,
can do both
Kamala
of those
Harris
things.
can do that too. I don't.
Right, but I'm not trying to be funny, but if it came down to who's going to be president of the United States, I feel better with Stacey Abrams for what it's worth.
I mean,
than Kamala
I would
Harris.
feel equally bad because I don't care for either of their politics, but I don't. From a running a campaign standpoint, I don't know why Stacey Abrams is preferable to Kamala Harris. I mean, and in fact, Kamala Harris has been part of a successful Democratic ticket, whereas Stacey Abrams has not.
Yeah, but that's a kind of a tautological argument. Because I made her my VP, she's now been part of a successful Democratic ticket. I mean, that's true of anybody that Joe Biden would have picked.
I think you're putting a person up against Kamala Harris who cannot point to a lot of maybe there's somebody else,
Barbara Lee. I mean, look, you can pick, just go through the list. I mean, there's not frankly that many.
Bottoms.
Sure, there's a bunch of black mayors who've been vying for. I mean, they've been taking that Bloomberg money, selling out, and are very well positioned to join a corporatized Democratic Party ticket. And you could also use a black man, to be honest, because then what's really harmful is the racism accusation. Nobody cares about the sexism accusations. That's just the way the world is. I think so.
I don't know about that.
I think so, especially with abortion on the ballot, and that women are going to go and vote for the Democratic Party, point blank, period. But also, I don't
So
think
are black
anybody,
people.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that any of it matters. Like, he could pick Pete Buttigieg. Nobody cares. Democrats vote blue no matter who means that nothing they do matters. The Democratic Party can act with impunity because voters in the Democratic media, the liberal media, have told them no matter what you do, no matter how much you're abused, no matter how much the party spits on you, no matter how many promises are undermined, you have to vote for the Democratic Party. So we've told them they have a carte blanche.
Yeah, but that's a reason I think ultimately for not replacing Kamala Harris. The only people this affects at all is elite opinion, and they're going to hammer Democratic operatives if they do that, and they're going to want to avoid that pain
the only
at all
reason
costs.
I think you do it is because you really think that Joe Biden's not going to make it through 2024, and you need someone who can beat Trump. And at that point, it doesn't matter if they're black; they're going to pick the person they think that can beat Trump.
Yeah.
And the identity politics is going to be out the window.
Yeah, that could be. I don't think they're going to have to. I mean, Joe Biden could be. He could be. They're going to keep him in the basement, not let anyone know that he's out of the running, and it will elect secretly not still around
That's
Joe Biden.
probably right.
That would be the strategy. All right, we'll have more Rising right after this. Stay with us.